like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
PLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lumen. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 4 o'clock. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Tuesday. We're pumped up, ready to go. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are your home for the Fiesta Bowl. Starting Thursday, Miami and Ole Miss right after the show. And then don't forget as well on Friday, that's going to be another good one, Oregon versus Indiana right after the show. But either way, we are pumped up and ready to go. And as always, on a Tuesday, I don't know if I should call him LSU Jeff or should I call him Ole Miss Jeff. But either way, Jeffrey's in the building. How you doing, Jeffrey?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is the shirt I got complimented for 5 times the day after the game. And I wore the shirt, and it's, it's okay.
I guarantee you, if you go to Pier Park tonight and wearing that shirt, people are going to fist bump you or say, go Rebels, or do they call them the Rebels, or are they the Land Sharks?
Rebs.
What happened to the Land Sharks?
Yeah, they were doing that for a little while. Defensive players started it and everything, and that was a tragic story if you ever hear or read about it. But we won't get into that.
We're going to start the music early today.
Heartfelt
messages from Jeffrey.
But no, the Land Shark didn't take off, and then of course they were doing the Bear, and the general consensus was nobody liked the Bear.
No, everybody wanted to stay with the Rebels. I mean, take it for whatever it's worth, but it's been there forever, and everybody likes it, so stick with it. So either way, we got the Bone Crusher in the building. We hadn't had him for a while, but we're glad that he's here. Bone Crusher, I don't know if you need some moral support or not, but right now the Atlanta Falcons don't have a coach or a staff. So we don't know. And Georgia lost
4 games in a row.
And Georgia lost. So I don't know.
Did you hear the rumor?
No.
Kirby Smart.
Oh, man. Nah, it's not going to happen.
You didn't hear that, Bone Crusher?
No, I have not. No.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start it right now.
We're starting right now. There's also rumors about, Chucky.
John Gruden.
Yeah. Going to join the Bucs staff, not as head coach.
But the staff.
That's
that was a
weird.
weird one, too.
Well, let me say this about the Falcons. They did restructure Kirk Cousins' contract. So it looks like Kirk Cousins is going to stay. So there's a chance because the old guard, and you know how it is in the NFL whenever you don't bring in your quarterback or you don't have your guy, the guy usually that you come in with, it doesn't usually work out unless he's a superstar. And obviously now it's going to be wondering what's going to happen with Michael Penix. So should be interesting to watch. I don't know. I mean, are you a Penix? You like Penix?
If Kirk Cousins was a starting QB day one, we would be in the playoffs.
Wow. You know what? I agree with you. I think so.
I think that division's trash.
I mean, you beat the Saints twice, you beat the Panthers twice, you're in.
Yeah.
Or close.
Goodness.
But either way, glad to have you here. Glad we didn't have to send a search party out for you to find you with all this losing coming out of the state of Georgia.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Either way.
Hey, Georgia Southern won their bowl game.
Yeah, that stinks for you. Georgia Tech lost, Georgia lost, and the Falcons are done for the year.
Yeah.
So, but either way, let's
it's
talk
basketball
about it.
season.
Yeah, it's basketball.
I showed up to get rub salt in my wound.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of that,
We just pushed you to the place where we were going to be looking for you.
speaking of that,
Cry my beer.
my daughter, up at Ole Miss and all that, I talked to her last night, and she's going to a Memphis Grizzlies game tonight.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. That
Yeah.
is cool. So let's talk about it. We've got a lot of college football playoff to talk about, which is great. We're going to do that. So stick with us. Don't forget, we got Taylor Devers coming on, talk about a lot of the stuff that happened with Florida State. Florida State's made a lot of moves today, like right before we came on the show. So he's going to do all that. So all you Florida State fans, I want you to listen up after 4:20. And then at the top of the hour, we're going to have Joe Sagacki, the voice of the Miami Hurricanes, and a plethora of knowledge about what's going on with the Miami Hurricanes, as well as he's going to get some hard questions today because I want to know who the next quarterback is going to be for the Hurricanes. So he may know or he may not know, but either way. And then we're going to discuss your favorite lettered quarterback in college football, DJ Lagway. We're going to be discussing him a little bit today. But anyway, just kind of giving a heads up about what's going on for the day. When you think about how this college football fiasco is what I'm going to call it, the portal.
Yeah.
This whole segment's going to be about the portal. And the way it has turned into is like now we've got where this whole thing is a big deal for the used to it was signing day. Signing day was the biggest part of, the kids standing there putting the hats on, going with their team, waiting until the last day, not knowing who they're going to sign with. That was the excitement. Now we've got the portal. It opens, and then everybody is in it. You had 3,000 people in it at one time. I don't know how many, but is in it now or is out of it now. But either way, did you ever think we would be in a place to where now the portal is like it is? And with the way that it is now the problem is if I have a favorite player on a team and that player gets in the portal and changes over to a team I don't like, a la Livingstone from Texas, the wide receiver, he hated Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He said terrible things about Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's Arch Manning's best friend and roommate.
Yeah.
He was Arch Manning's favorite target. When the pocket would collapse, throwing the ball to 16. That's who he was throwing it to. I don't know if he was thinking Peyton was 16 or what, but either way, he was throwing it to 16. Now he's joining Oklahoma.
I didn't know. I knew he was leaving because he was told to leave by the Longhorns because the Auburn guy's coming in.
Right, but he's leaving to go to Oklahoma.
That's a sin.
So now you've got not only kids leaving and going to new teams, but they're going to the rival teams.
Yeah.
And so as a fan of college football, we would always know that in the NFL we were going to have to follow our players that we liked.
Yeah.
And if they went on a team that we didn't like, we would just cheer for them and wouldn't really care about the team. Now you're going to have the same way. You got jerseys. What happens to all the DJ Lagway Florida jerseys that were worn and bought? They're all gone because you're going to wear an old school DJ Lagway jersey? No, especially if he's playing for somebody else that you're going to be playing against, maybe the LSU Tigers. But how does it make you feel? I know you're a traditionalist. You love the old school games. You love the old school way.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, how does it make you feel that now the college is not even like the NFL where there's a contract? It's year by year. And sometimes it's 8 games, 7 games, 9 games, depending on if they got hurt, depending on if this team is unraveling. Like, what are we doing here? Like, how does that make any sense or make it make sense?
Well, what's happened here is success. Players have transferred and been successful. And Jalen Hurts was, don't get me wrong, he was successful at Alabama. Problem is the competition got too stiff, and he didn't want to split time. So he went to Oklahoma. Now, those two teams never hated each other until the last 2 years, so they're not bitter rivals. Oklahoma just joined the conference. So that's different because they weren't even in the conference back then. But they had a guy leave Ohio State and go to Michigan. That's insanity. And then ATN, he was at the Gators. He went to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
That was, what in the world's going on? That, I don't want to say that shouldn't happen, but it shouldn't happen. And here's the problem is that somebody like Jaden Daniels, he leaves Arizona State, goes to LSU, second year, wins a Heisman. So this success thing, Nix goes to Oregon, These guys found success somewhere else. So now everybody's got it in their head that they have to go somewhere else and that they don't want to compete because they're getting promised things.
Mendoza.
Promises to.
Right. Mendoza leaves California, Cal, and he goes to Indiana, wins the Heisman.
Moore.
Yes, Dante Moore.
Yeah, so there's all the success going on, and everybody's got it in their head. So if you had told me, yeah, sure, 10, 12, maybe 14 quarterbacks would transfer in 1 year, I'd say, yeah. But when it gets into the 40s, I mean, that's just crazy.
But there's only a certain amount of spots. And, a lot of times we talk about how that competition breeds unity, breeds, makes a kid better. But now it's like, no, I want to guarantee, number one, of money. Number two, I want to guarantee that I'm going to be the starter. I want to come in camp knowing that I'm starting for this football team or else I'm not coming. Because I would love to be a fly on the wall and hear the conversations between the student, the agent, the AD, the head football coach. And now it's all like an NFL thing, but the difference between college and the NFL is there's not contracts, like 2-year contracts, 3-year contracts, 4-year contracts.
Rights.
Yeah, so it has to be, they've got to figure it out, and I'm gonna read some of the comments. Jack Patterson says, portal stinks. Players are about the money. You can't build programs anymore. That's so true. That's a really big deal. You can build your teams, but you can't build a team of veterans. Now, if you think about it, and we looked at it, when you look at what Indiana has done, Indiana has 62.4% of their starters are transfers. 62. That means they could be 21, 22, 23-year-old men. And then if you're playing against an 18 or 19-year-old, that makes a difference.
And they learn something over here, and now they learn something different at Indiana.
Right.
So it might be even building because it might be different types of things. And they're like, oh, I'll take a little bit of this because it's the best. And I'll take a little bit of that. And then boom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Christy Mathis said that the portal has hurt the game we love. It has. It is really, it's pushed people away. And you know what? I get it. Okay, we're calling the college football players kids. We've been doing that. Saban does that. They talk about it's about the players, it's about the kids, it's about this, it's about that. But really, when you think about it, it's not necessarily all about kids because these guys are 21, 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And some of those guys, you can't blame them for going out and trying to make money because they know that they don't have an imminent future in the NFL. So they know that I need to get what I can get right now because I'm not going to be able to make it in the NFL to make the millions of dollars. So if I can get the 3 and the 2 and the 400,000 and be able to play, just a great example is Tommy Castellanos. Tommy Castellanos is not going to be an NFL quarterback. He's too small. Yeah. He doesn't have the arm strength and he's too small. And so, but if Florida State's going to pay me $800,000 to come in and be your quarterback, absolutely sign me up. That's where, that's where it has to change.
Are they allowed agents?
Yeah, but I think
Or just
they call
advisors.
them representatives, advisors, or whatever.
So now they can afford quality ones, and so they're taking a percentage. So guess what? They want their guy to make more money.
Of course.
So now they're just driven the whole sport, just like the agents did back in the 80s when they broke the $1 million a year mark.
Yes.
With, Herschel Walker going to New Jersey Generals.
Right, exactly. And then
it
just
snowballed
kept,
after
yeah,
that.
it just spiraled out of control. We're going to go ahead and go to the Red 70s phone line. We got our friend, Lynn Haven. Rob, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, guys. Hey, I just want to compliment you on a fine-looking jersey that you had on yesterday.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. The quality is second to none. I will tell you that. My wife thought it was a great shirt, by the way, and you might have to take some orders. Maybe not for that ugly IU, but either way.
Hey, it did. It did turn out good, I thought. For somebody just went and bought a T-shirt off the rack and a can of spray paint. And a roll of tape. It did look good.
I did. You know what? A lot of people talked about it. My daughter was like, hey, I might wear that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, good luck, because I don't know how many Indiana fans are down here, especially this one right here.
Rob, don't.
Well, I was going to say that now you got a shirt, you can keep it till, when the playoffs end and if they win national championship,
I can just I could be like Jeffrey and have a second team, like he's got Ole Miss, a side team.
On the back, you can just put number 1. Right?
That's right. Yeah, that was definitely a great surprise, and I do appreciate it, and got a lot of comments on it too.
I just hope.
Hey, did you ever see the shrine that I put out there about 3 years ago when Alabama got beat?
I did not.
Okay, well, I think somebody's got it. It's on Facebook somewhere, but I'll send you. Get Rand. I think Randy's got it on his phone, but if not, I'll send it to you.
That sounds good.
Was it like a wreath, like somebody died?
Yeah, and I found a bottle of Tide that said Tide Refresher or something like that. Yeah, it was fun. The candles, and put a wreath on the door. Yeah, it was a shrine at the door. Yeah,
it's definitely disheartening for sure to watch that game. It was tough. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, I think it was the first time that they got beat at home by who was it? Texas A&M, when Texas A&M came and beat them at home. I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay. I got you.
He tries to block that out. He didn't remember.
That is something about short-term memory loss on any losses that we've had. I get it.
Yeah, but we all got a big laugh out of it. I showed it to everybody yesterday morning from the clowns there. So,
oh, yeah. Awesome.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
You should send the makeup.
That did not go over very well.
Yeah, let's just let the record. Let's make sure we let the record be known that I've never said those words, and I don't know where this thing is going, but I didn't start it, and I'm not adding to it.
Somebody it wasn't so bad if it hadn't been made into a promo. We had to listen to it all weekend.
Oh man, yeah, I heard about that, and again, I didn't have anything to do with that either.
Well, I don't think we're a bunch of clowns. We have a good show in the morning. So
there you go.
If you were nice to them, they'd invite you to the hot tub that they're always talking about.
Did anybody eat the donuts yesterday that I brought?
I don't know.
I was in there yesterday morning. I know y'all don't get up early enough.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't bring us any gifts. They don't bring us any gifts for our show, but that's okay.
Well, y'all don't have any guests that actually stop by. That's the thing, So, but anyway, guys, I know we got the FSU guy coming in, so got to go to break for that. And I do love y'all's show, and I appreciate you. And
yes,
y'all
sir.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the shirt, Rob. We appreciate it, my friend. Have a good day. Hey, when you think about the portal, though, and this is something that somebody wrote, Chris wrote on Facebook. It says it's bringing new eyes to the TV sets, though. It has definitely grown the game. There will be either a team who has never won a national championship or hasn't won it in a long time. Mm-hmm. But in saying that, the game we grew up on is definitely changed forever.
Yeah.
And Chris, Chris Steffen, that's a great point. When you look at it and you think about it, it is making parity. But what you're no longer going to see, are we going to be done with the juggernauts? Like the Blue Bloods, are we going more to a basketball sensation to where every year it's going to be somebody different? It's not going to be the same. This year, our Final Four, none of those guys were in the Final Four last year.
Well, let's just talk about it basically. Indiana's never been in the playoffs. Miami's never been in the playoffs. Ole Miss never been in the playoffs. Oregon's been twice.
Or Indiana made it last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We forgot about that.
But
one and out. Don't want it done.
But really, when you look at it, though, these teams haven't won in a long, long time.
Not a single playoff game except for Oregon. And that wasn't even last year. That was like 2014.
Right. But even looking back outside of Miami's championships, that is it. Oregon, no. Ole Miss, no. Indiana, no. And that's where, when you look at it, is that, it kind of bids what he's saying. Is that happy? Does that make everybody happy that you don't get the domination of like Alabama or Miami or Nebraska or Oklahoma? You know what I mean? Like, are we loving this because of that? But
I'm not going to use the word we, but the people, they like it. Because you know what? There's so many Alabama haters out there. There's so many Ohio State haters out there. There's even Georgia haters out there. And all three of those teams lost in the same weekend. It wasn't a weekend, it was the middle of the week. But the same 2 days. Those three teams, I'd want to know what the stat is on that. When's the last time Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State lost on the same day, basically?
Yeah, on the same playoff bracket, on the same weekend.
Anything. Regular season, I don't care.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
It's probably been the 90s.
And that's one of the biggest things when you talk to people, when you think about what the Patriots done. Why do people hate the Patriots? Because they hated that they won so many, or they get tired of the same ones winning over and over. So for football fans that just love to see parity, love to see across the board, you're going to see a new champion every week or every year, and that's the thing. I hate that. And the reason why I hate it is because we probably will never hear or never see a dominant run like we saw with Saban. It goes away. That takes it away. If you can change schools every single year. I mean, you've got y'all's former quarterback, the TJ guy. He went from Finley. He's been 6 different
Auburn,
schools.
Texas State.
I mean, he went everywhere. And is that great for football? Is it great? And the thing is like, with Indiana's run this year, it's now making it to where everybody's doing it. Texas Tech is doing it. Indiana's back in doing it again for next year. And so your signing days are diminishing because
it's next year will be somewhere else.
Yeah, the portal, and it's like, okay, well, we're not going to give these kids coming out of high school. When will it get to the place? Now, this is a good thought. When will we get to the place where the kids out of the high school ranks won't make as much money as the kids coming out of the portal? You see what I'm saying? Because they're going to eventually not value the high school kids as much as they are the portal kids.
It's already beginning to happen pretty much.
Yeah, because I'm going to pay my portal guys way more than I'm going to pay. Okay, so the 5-star that's coming out of high school, you can rank them as high as you want on the ESPN 1 through 100, but I'm not going to give you $1 million coming out of high school. You can go somewhere else, but next year when you come back, I'll give you $3.5 million. I'll give you $5 million. You go play over here at Ole Miss, and then you can come next year to Alabama and make 5 times the money because you went over to Ole Miss and developed first. But what if Ole Miss grabbed a portal guy that played at TCU or somewhere that wasn't whatever, and then now the 5-star guys are starting to get secondary money. And no longer are we going to get to the place where we no longer take a 5-star quarterback out of high school?
Oh, no, they will.
To be a starter, though? You can't walk in.
No,
you can't go into that kid's...
It's like Saban said, or even, I don't remember if it was Curry or Stallings or whatever said, you'll compete. And that's the reason why Bo Jackson went to Auburn, because he knew as a freshman he could play.
Pat Dye said you can play. Bear Bryant told him you can't. Either way, we got to take a break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the portal. with the Florida State Seminoles. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
You can't fix stupid, but you can divorce it.
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
And on behalf of 70% of the Alabama fan base,
Feel the burn.
we want a damn divorce.
The Red 7T studio line.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
He has not turned the ball over.
Get it again.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with a gentle breeze at 9 miles per hour coming out of the southwest and temps near 68. Tonight we will have a mixture of some clouds and slight fog and be quite warm at 63. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds tomorrow and a high 71. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com. Get ready for the season of hits, catches, and smiles. Registration for the Panama City Little League Spring 2026 season is officially open. Baseball and softball for boys and girls ages 4 through 12, and co-ed t-ball for our youngest players. Don't strike out. Registration is open now through January 10. Season runs March 7th through May 16th. To sign up a player, volunteer, or coach, visit the Panama City Little League at registration.bluesombrero.com/85161.
The Gator Boys are back
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
and ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dunks it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Florida, Georgia, tip-off coming up at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Now. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are live and local right here in the CBC Construction studio, and we're joined with a friend of the show. Hadn't had him on in a little while. Taylor Devers is in the queue. Taylor, how you doing today? Taylor, you there?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Bone Crusher's got you. He hadn't been in the studio for a while. He's a little rusty. Either way, glad to have you. Norvell Central Chop Chat. How's it going with the Seminoles?
Man, it's been an exciting day. 5 commitments so far today. So, round of applause for Norvell as he's going through the transfer portal window.
Well, you know what? We talked about it all through the year, 2025. We talked about it at the beginning of the year. We had you on. You gave us every inch of every piece of grass blade in Doak Campbell Stadium. And we really was harsh about how he built this team. And realistically, Indiana built their team the same way Mike Norvell built his team. The difference is it was either the coaching or the players. So it was one or the other. But this seems to be the new recipe for winning football games, because I don't know if you know this or not, but 62.4% of Indiana starters are all from the portal.
Yeah, it's a big, drastic thing in football. We talk about it all the time about schools having a front office. You never would have thought that would have happened. You see Nick Saban as an Alabama coach when he was there, and everybody talked about, well, he's going to bring up and just slide a couple $1,000s under somebody's door. And, I mean, now it's out there for the public. Everybody basically knows what these kids are making, or a roundabout price or anything else. It's just a glorified NFL, and that's kind of the landscape that we're in right now.
Do you think that, obviously, this is, whether you think it's good or not, we've been discussing it for the first 20 minutes. It's got its ups, it's got its downs. Obviously, we got to get some kind of structure to it, because you've got new teams for new players every single year now, and you can't go buy a jersey because they're going to leave your team next year, so you're just going to have to throw it away because he's probably going to be playing against you. And, you know, what better way to be in somebody's head than to be wearing their jersey and they're playing the other team? So really, when you think about it, this is the new normal. This is what we've set. This is the precedent that's going forward. And is it just going to be if you get lucky with the players, or basically get the players that fit your system?
Yeah, so a very interesting thing about myself. I'm actually a Pelicans basketball fan. So a lot of times the Pelicans trade players. They trade them quite a bit, and it happens because you're a small market team. You know, you have the Anthony Davises, the Drew Holidays, the other pieces like that are fan favorites. People get their jerseys. Next thing you know, they're on the trade market. They're out of here. They're another marketed team. And it's just so disheartening because you see all these kids around the country that are going to different places. And I think as we're going on, you're seeing these different front offices kind of suggest these multi-year contracts. I think that's going to be really big for player retention, because you're looking at these guys that are signing these NIL agreements, and really, it looks like, for example, a DJ Lagway, who I know we're going to discuss a little bit later, had a multi-year contract with Florida. Well, obviously, he's in the portal now. He's out of Florida. He's actually going on to do other things and going on to see other schools. And basically, you're going to have to pay that money back to the schools. So it's got a huge penalty. It's got a huge repercussion for what everything's going through with just being in the portal and having these contracts. And I think it's going to eventually get better for college football, but right now it is just a wild March Madness field type of portal and just type of environment that nobody really knows what's going on.
So let me ask you this. As we talked about earlier when you said you had a great day today, are you excited for your quarterback that you've got coming in now, and are you having a sigh of relief that it wasn't DJ Lagway, or were you leaning towards DJ Lagway?
Let me first say by saying that I know some people were very excited about DJ Lagway's potential, him being a former 5-star, but gosh, I cannot get over the PTSD of a former 5-star named DJ, potentially in garnet and gold with DJ Uiagalelei. It makes me want to throw up. You know, it's just a thing where I talk about this Florida team being made of glass. And then next thing you know, 2 months later, I talk about how DJ Lagway was terrible. The 5 interceptions were awful. It was embarrassing. And now Florida State fans are having to hype up this potential transfer prospect. It's a weird dynamic. I never thought I would do it. And I don't honestly think that Florida State's going to go in this route of getting both quarterbacks with Ashton Daniels now in the fold. Am I a huge Ashton Daniels fan? No. Is he a prolific passer? No. Is he a great runner? He's a decent runner. He's got tools. He's got potential. But the problem is you're signing a guy that is basically a fourth-year senior. He's been in the system in Stanford. He was there for 1 year at Auburn. They probably should have played him more at Auburn, considering how Jackson Arnold was so terrible at times. But you saw the flashes. You saw him compete against Alabama. You saw the different games with Vanderbilt and stuff like that. But overall, I think it was a decent, at least bench and depth piece, because Florida State only had 2 scholarship quarterbacks. I mean, you had to get another quarterback in there. He's wanting to think that he's quarterback number 1, but you also got Kevin Sperry out there. So what message does that send to him is a big factor in all of this, too. So it's just a weird circumstance. Had so many quarterbacks come in, and Florida State finally got one that they actually decently like.
And that's the thing, like, this is going to have to push to the place to where now when you are a quarterback that's there, you are going to have to understand that there's a possibility that they're going to sign somebody else that's got more experience than you or has played more football than you, and you're going to have to compete your butt off to be able to get, fight your way onto the field, or you can just do like everybody else and enter the portal and go to a MAC school or go to a Sunbelt school and try to throw for 500,000 yards, and then hopefully somebody else will give you an opportunity to come in and go play on the big stage. So that's really where we are. I do want to read some of the comments because your favorite guy, Chris Multicante, is on the Facebook page, and he is saying that I'm glad that y'all got a big-time backup quarterback transfer for Florida State. So, just so that happens. Now, let me ask you this. I know that the running back position, I'll tell you what, just go ahead and give us a rundown of some of the guys that you guys did sign, because there's a couple that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, so we'll start off with just the guy you were talking about, Trey Wisner. He is a guy from Texas, starting running back for them, with C.J. Baxter kind of spelling in a little bit more there. Starting running back there that everybody really likes and thinks very highly of. Nehemiah Chandler, he's a defensive back, cornerback from South Alabama, got a couple years of eligibility left, very physical corner. They really like him a lot. Then you also go to the offensive line. Braden Joyner from Purdue, he was actually formerly with Auburn as well, a four-star prospect out of high school. Florida State was big on him, but he started in multiple games last year for Purdue. I know it's Purdue, but he's also started a couple of games at Auburn as well. Nate Patz is another guy from Bowling Green. Actually started 38 games in his career, and he's got another year of eligibility left. Can play offensive tackle, offensive guard. Des Riles, a tight end. I know Florida State fans are raising their eyes because they're like, oh, gosh, another tight end. But, yes, another tight end for Florida State. An edge rusher in Raylan Kennedy, who's from Texas A&M. He's got a couple years of eligibility, four-star prospect out of high school. And then also, don't forget about your glue guy from a championship program in Longstaffer, Caleb Bowers from North Dakota State. Got another year of eligibility left, and you know how Mike Norvell loves his special teams. So that's kind of your roundabout tight ends, or really just transfers in general, with the tight end being the top of the list, quote-unquote.
Let me ask you this. I forgot to ask you whenever we were talking about Ashton Daniels. This is becoming a little bit of a comical thing that goes online. Gus Malzahn always weighs in on all these people. And, I think this is the fourth, maybe the fifth guy that now he said, kind of reminds him of Cam Newton. So, is Gus still thinking that every tall African-American quarterback is Cam Newton?
Man, it is ridiculous how many times he has made the Cam Newton comparison. The K.J. Jefferson thing last year with him, with UCF, and comparing him to Cam Newton was absolutely disgusting. And then you turn around and have Ashton Daniels considered as Cam Newton as well. And then DJ Lagway, I'm sure, had the Cam Newton, comparison. It just seems like it's just a weird thing. I get the reason why. DJ Lagway's the bigger guy. I understand, him being almost 250 pounds. He's got the size. He was a five-star quarterback out of high school. But, man, it is very just exhausting. Gus, just please run the ball. Let's get our quarterback to have prolific quarterback play in Tallahassee, and let's get our offense up to square where we can actually score in the red zone and put points on the scoreboard. Let's go win some ball games.
Let me ask you this, because I got to know. The biggest thing about everybody talking about Mike Norvell not staying at Florida State and then having to stay was a money deal. So do you know anything about what they're paying these guys? Because obviously they've got levels of what kind of is going on with other schools, because we found out today that Jaden Baugh is actually staying at Florida. So we know that, Lacey was in the $1.5 to $1.8 million realm, and he being probably the number one, him and Ball right there together. Wisner probably one step below those guys. So you think maybe somebody there is going to be making $1 million from the portal?
Yeah, I definitely think Wisner, for example, he had 1,000 yards the year before in 2024, had about 600 yards the year after. Having 1,600 yards in the SEC in two seasons is not something to slouch about. A guy that's been top 10 in rushing in the conference the last 2 years, basically. And, I mean, that's with C.J. Baxter, who was a 4-star running back out of high school and was actually a former Florida State commit, was actually in the backfield. So this isn't just a Roydell Williams situation where he had 500 yards, 600 yards because, you know, he was more slow. And, I mean, Wisner had basically a situation where, you know, he showed that flashes of speed and power, and he's done it at a consistent level. You saw in the very last game of the season against Texas A&M, he had 150 yards. I mean, this is a guy that was very productive against top-tier defenses.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. Now, we saw today that Earl Little Jr. had declared for the NFL draft, but then now put himself back into college and then stated that he's going into the portal. What about that?
Yeah, a little bit more of a bummer. I thought Earl had a really good chance in being able to come back, but I really think that the Desir twins, who coming out, Mandrell and Darrell, were kind of just having a situation there where it looked like Florida State is having to leverage and get more money to them, and kind of place no blame about it because Mandrell actually had a great year, was an all-American true freshman that Florida State really liked out of high school. And you talked about Tony White being able to talk about those guys being contributors right away in year one, and people kind of looked at him like, oh, you're crazy. And then on vice versa, he said something about Earl Little being him. And we talked about it. The Alabama game was one of those games where he played out of his mind. But then the rest of the year, he played very, very inconsistent. I wonder if Florida State, with all those defensive backs that are coming back to the team, they kind of said, you know what, we might not need an inconsistent Earl Little. Maybe it might be time to kind of cut ties. If he wants to go to the draft, he wants to go to the portal, let him go.
What about local star Mosley grad alumni Randy Pittman Jr.? Has anybody said anything about where he might be going, or is there any chance that Florida State could lure him back and pull him back in from the portal?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that he comes back to Florida State. I kind of think that they made that decision known pretty early in the process. When you brought in and you got Landon Thomas, his backup, to basically sit there and come back to the school after he entered the transfer portal also. I know that he had visited Auburn recently. I know Auburn's been kind of a key factor in his decision. South Carolina, I know they actually had a couple of good tight ends recently. I believe Purdue is in the mix, and I think Oklahoma State is the other one. There could be one more school, but I think that was it from college. But I know the Auburn visit was kind of intriguing because you had them adding their quarterback today, actually. And I just wonder, with that new staff, would he be able to do that? But he's a Gus guy. So you wonder why he was able to enter the portal like that. And it just seemed kind of awkward. It seemed weird. This whole 2026 or 2025 offseason has just been just a random mix of just occurrences that I don't know if Florida State can ever get into the good graces of the football gods anymore.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Do you know who's quarterback in the Oklahoma State Cowboys?
No.
Yeah.
Mestermaker? Is that right?
From North Texas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We're trying to reach out to Randy Pittman to get him on. Hopefully that'll work out before or even after he goes to the portal, or to his team. But when you think about how this college game is going and how all of the pieces are starting to come together, it is starting to turn into how the NFL does it with the draft and the way that they are. It makes you always wonder when they have a starting quarterback, but then they go in the draft the next year and they draft a quarterback. It always makes you wonder what's going on. Did they see something? And you just, again, I said this earlier, and I think this is something that would be really cool, is to be the fly on the wall whenever all of these people have these conversations, because obviously they don't just go and leave. They actually talk to the coaching staff, and that the money's brought up and all that. So it's just it's a wild, crazy scenario to be sitting in a room, and here you are, you just played for someone like, say, a Randy Pittman, who had been playing for Gus for this long, and if maybe he's not who they want anymore, and they just say, yeah, it's probably best for you to enter the portal. You know what I mean? And it's just, it makes for a weird kind of situation.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Playground basketball, where you have two captains and they would pick the players and you go back and forth. And it's sort of like, a guy's picking and then the next guy's just going to get the next best available person and all that. And some of these players, they don't really want to go to Purdue. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, Taylor, when you look at it, it's all about fitment, and it's all about what you're looking at and what you're looking for. Used to, you're looking for that 5-star, that 4-star that fits exactly that toughness, that grit, that type of player that you want, that's a baller, that's a dog, as they call them. And now it's more about fitment into your program and looks the part that you need, that, produces the most, production. And so you can't just close your eyes and grab all the 5-stars anymore. You got to grab people that are know how to do what they're doing. But really, knowing that these grown men, because we keep calling them kids, but these grown men are staying for 4 years and 5 years and sometimes 6 years and are playing against these 18-year-olds, of course, they're going to win most of the time.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing because you look at Florida State. They signed 32 prospects in the 26 class. You've already basically committed 7 transfers, basically, in this class. That's 39 players already added to your roster for the 2026 season. And you just look at it. Florida State's going after a lot more. They're going after defensive linemen, a couple more offensive linemen, maybe even a cornerback. It's just a lot of different things that Florida State's still adding to the roster. They might even add like 50 new players to this roster. And that is crazy considering a 105 limit. And then basically this is a 5-7 team, but this team did beat Alabama to begin the year. They have the talent, but basically you're just blowing it up all again for basically the third year in a row. Can Florida State be able to generate itself and kind of get back to its fame and glory that it had between the 22 and 23 season? Not really sure.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Well, we're going to have to take a break. Taylor, thank you so much for being on with us today, man. Great job. And we definitely will be calling you back after, for next week just to see if there's any more stuff going on. And maybe, just maybe, you might have 2 quarterbacks, one named DJ again.
Oh, no.
Hope not, but I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. I hope y'all have a great rest of the show. And as always, go Noles.
That's right. Taylor Devers with Norvell Central Chop Chat. We appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this portal. We got to talk about Jordan, and we got to talk about Jaden. Either way, you listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
For exciting college football, the best boiled seafood, and the most game day fun, it's Lone Star Boil House. Watch the games on their huge Jumbotron. Challenge your friends to beer pong, cornhole, and oversized Connect 4 in their new adult lounge. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for incredible wings, the best boiled seafood, and a new breakfast menu. Saturday and Sunday starting at 9. Crush the follow on Facebook to catch huge game day specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Get ready for the season of hits, catches, and smiles. Registration for the Panama City Little League Spring 2026 season is officially open. Baseball and softball for boys and girls ages 4 through 12, and co-ed t-ball for our youngest players. Don't strike out. Registration is open now through January 10. Season runs March 7th through May 16th. To sign up a player, volunteer, or coach, visit the Panama City Little League at registration.bluesombrero.com/85161.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for 3. Bang, he got it. To the rack. And dunks grabs it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Florida, Georgia, tip-off coming up at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
On this show, we don't hold back. We react, we dissect, and we tell it like it is. You're locked into the truth. You're locked into the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're actually going to go straight to the Red 7T's phone line. We got Sean on the line. Sean, how you doing today, my friend? Sean, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, am I coming in all right?
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I got you. No, I'm doing all right. I just, like I said, I was telling the phone screener guy, was that Bone Crusher?
Yeah, the Bone Crusher.
Okay, I got you. It didn't sound like him. It sounded a little more astute today than, than normally.
All right.
Yeah.
He hadn't been here for a while, so we sent him off to some good training schools.
He's been pumping weights ever since the new year started.
Yeah, he's a different guy.
Okay. He sounded like a new man there. I wasn't sure who that was, but anyways, I had just caught the tail end. I had been on the phone my whole drive home, and I caught the tail end when I flipped into y'all's station. That Taylor, is it Devers or Devers? What's his last name?
Yep, Devers.
Yeah, Devers. Yeah, he was just kind of checking out of his time on the air, and I was like, dang, because I had some questions I was going to ask him related to, portal signings and comings and goings with Florida State, because that's my team, unfortunately. And but that's all right. He said I could still probably chat it up with you guys for a little bit. Because I was going to ask him, because I was watching a podcast last evening. It's almost depressing. I'm going to quit doing it. Related to Florida State's, attempts at signing people since it opened up. I guess that 2-week window where you can take visits, people are taking visits and attempting to sign these guys in the portal. And but he was talking about that he rambled off the names. He said we literally. And a lot of them were new ones to me that I had not heard of, and they were a lot of them key starters and key backups. We literally lost 10 defensive linemen that he rambled off. And I'm like, holy crap! I'm thinking about that. That's probably your starters, and one's graduated. One's our best one. Is used up his eligibility, and he's going to be a high draft pick. I can't remember his name, but he's a big guy, and he's projected to be a fairly high draft pick. But the others are just, I guess. And a lot of them were unexpected. I don't know if they've had a defensive line, coaching change that rubbed them all wrong or what. But I was like, we may not have any. Hell, do we have any left? And then do we have? That was my question. I was wondering, how far deep do you go? I mean, are we going to be able to field a defensive line next year unless we sign, 10 more scrubs? And obviously, I know he's mentioned they had like 32. I think we signed 32 freshmen. Hopefully some of those are defensive linemen, but I mean, good Lord, if we don't get some studs, and I don't think we got the money, we don't got the bank to do it, for defensive line, it's going to be green and lean.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that what he was saying that kind of surprised me is that for whatever reason, even though they didn't have the money, so to speak, to buy Mike Norvell out, they do have enough money to play their players. Being able to pay $1 million for Wisner coming out of Texas, that's a big deal for Florida State, and getting an established running back and that kind of thing. So I don't think too much they're going to be as much worried about the defense. I do believe, if memory serves me correct, they did have a few freshmen that were coming in for the defensive line, and then obviously I know that they've targeted some defensive tackles.
Well, my other question, besides complete, he called it, he described the defensive line as in shambles. That's the way that guy described it, and that was a good word to describe it. But my other question was, he was talking about some key 3 guys that he mentioned in the quarterback portal that of interest that he had his own opinions on, and he was saying that there was a guy I can't remember, his Calandria or something. It sounded something like that. And he was saying this was recorded Sunday night, and I was listening to it yesterday. He said he may have already signed with somebody, but he said that his agent or their camp or whatever said that they were way off. That Florida State's what they were offering was way off what they were looking for, and it was almost like a joke. And obviously he's probably signed somewhere else by now.
Yeah, he has. Cavallari, I think is what his name is. And with Florida State today, they hosted DJ Lagway on Sunday night. And then the next day, which was yesterday, they had Ashton Daniels in from Auburn. And they did indeed sign Ashton Daniels.
Okay, that's the guy. I was going to bring him up because I don't know. I haven't seen him play, but he said and he said he did not think Lagway was the guy to go after because he said he's injured all the time. He doesn't play a lot. He plays hurt, and he's not giving 100% effort because he's hurt a lot. And, and I saw him in Florida too, even though he was a 5-star guy and he was proclaimed as like one of the top quarterbacks when they signed him. I haven't been impressed with him. And I was like, no, I don't want them. Just like I think Taylor didn't want him.
No.
And to sign him. And but the guy I was listening to, and I don't remember his name, but he said that they should go after Ashton Daniels. They said he was a backup. He played at another school. They said Stanford or Cal.
Yeah, he went to Stanford. Yep, he went to Stanford, and then he went to Auburn. And he swapped back and forth with Jackson Arnold. And it was Hugh Freeze did everything he could to keep Jackson Arnold in that starting position to the point to where he just couldn't anymore. They just could not move the ball. And Ashton Daniels, I don't know if you watched the Alabama-Auburn game, but he did have flashes of brilliance. So maybe Gus can get him going a little bit. But, you really can't go by what Gus says because everybody that's tall and can run a little bit is Cam Newton. So he's called him Cam Newton already. So there you go.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's compared him to Cam Newton?
Yeah, and that's the fifth one in 5 years.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Yeah, well, I hadn't seen him. I'm going to have to try to look at it. But he said that that's who they should go after because he said he's a quality guy. He's a team player. He's team first guy. And they said that he's like in his mop-up duty, I guess towards the end of the year, they let him play the last 2 or 3 games maybe or something. And he said one game he threw for against a legit opponent, I don't know, for 400-something yards. And does that sound right?
He threw for I think 250 and ran for either 100 or 120 against Alabama. So I know that he did have 2 touchdowns and 1 interception against Alabama. And if you remember, there were some fumbles in that game, not by him, that realistically they could have beaten Alabama had they not knocked the ball out of Cam Coleman's arms.
So he was a starting quarterback the whole game
against Alabama. Yes. Yep. He started against Alabama.
He put up 250 and 150 running.
Yeah, he did. He did put some yards up against Alabama for sure.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's close to 400. That says enough to me right there because y'all had y'all's act together by that game.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like when we played y'all at the beginning of the game and y'all were like, well, we're just going to throw our jersey down the field. We should be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all had it rolling by then.
Yeah. So yeah, you're exactly right. Well, we're gonna have to take our next caller, my friend. We got to go on the next one, but we'll definitely answer some of those questions. We're gonna have Taylor back on, and maybe at the end of the week to see if there's more stuff. So just be listening. You can call in and give him a call for that for sure.
Okay. Well, hey, appreciate y'all taking me when you could.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother. We're gonna go ahead and go to the next caller. We got Big Nate on the line. What's going on, Big Nate?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, man, we're having fun. What are you up to, buddy?
Hey, you know what? I just got done with work driving the school bus up here in Bay County.
That's right.
So I jumped on and had you guys on the air. I said, you know what? I'm going to call in. First-time caller, doing my thing. Originally, I'm from the Northwest, all right? Which is the reason why I was going to talk about DK.
Okay.
All right. So DK and the Steelers on Monday night with the Houston coming to them.
Yep.
As much as you want to say Houston's improved.
Yes.
Okay? There are inconsistencies all over the team throughout the season, which is why they're in the position they're in now, which is good for the Jags. Okay?
Yes. Yep.
But now that DK's had 2 weeks off to reflect, the last time that happened in Seahawks, he had a triple burger and 175. So they better be ready because DK is going to come with his both guns cocked and ready to go.
Well, I agree with you. If DK can do something like that, then definitely the Steelers are going to win. But let me just tell you this. The biggest part that's going to be the problem for the Steelers is that can they survive the defensive end play of the Texans? Can they give Rodgers enough time to find DK? And then can they get Warren out of the backfield, because they blitz a lot with their linebackers, but they also don't have to sometimes. But you've got the Texans linebackers aren't super fast, so Warren out of the backfield with a pass over in the flats or something like that is probably going to be effective. But because of DK's long ability to stretch the field, the only problem is can the tackles block Will Anderson Jr. and the other side? That's going to be the key.
Aaron Rodgers has the ability, because of his skill level, that I think they're going to have the running game as kind of a feint, but really look for lots of screens off the edge. Because they're going to let those tackles, they're going to have to let the edge rushers in. Those tackles aren't going to be able to block them for very long. So you do what they call like a 90 double screen. You block one with 1,000, two with 1,000, you screen off and throw it to Gainwell in the flat, and out the sideline you go. With DK's ability to block, especially on a smaller linebacker or even a cornerback, that's going to open up so much real estate for your running backs to just gobble up yards and put them in a position to where Houston has to make a decision. Either they're going to guard this, or they're going to open up the deep ball to DK and Austin, which he can throw that ball.
That's right. Well, we're going to have to go. We're up against the break. We appreciate your call.
No problem, buddy.
And we will talk to you soon. When we come back, Joe Zagacki with the Miami Hurricanes. You're listening to the Sports Blitz, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is touchstone service. The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Prickly and moody and a bit arrogant, but for a 42-year-old with this receiving core, this defensive head coach, inconsistent run game, to not throw a pick since November 9th, Aaron Rodgers gets my comeback player of the year.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 1.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, mostly clouds and slight fog, and a low of 64 with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tomorrow morning, a variety of some clouds and slight fog with temps around 70. In the afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and a temperature near 71. Moving into Thursday, the same with a high of 71 and slightly foggy. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousedba.com.
Contractors, when your job site needs materials fast, trust the local team that delivers. Mid-South Lumber Company brings you reliable job site delivery, in-house credit, and competitive pricing on everything from lumber to doors, windows, and more. Plus, their unmatched customer service has your back through every step of the build, making ordering, delivering, and the whole process easier for you. Support local. Build with Mid-South Lumber Company. Mid-South Lumber in Panama City on 11th Street or on Highway 231 in Youngstown.
Your home for the NFL. WGSX Lynn Haven. WFLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and wide. Top of the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets to the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it. To the rack. And dunks it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Florida, Georgia, tip-off coming up at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's go time all the time. Sports talk around the clock.
Oh, my God.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Time it is. It's 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your place for all things college football playoff and beyond. I guess you would say the portal. But if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. The Red 7T's phone lines. We're live and local right here in the CBC Construction studio. You know, we really have just been enamored by this playoff, this portal, and all things college football has had to offer this year. And, you know, we will be having Joe Zazaki on. We've got a little problem right now with the phone line to get him, but either way, we're going to have him here in just a moment. But let's talk about the way this season has unwound. Really, for the longest time, the season was all about the coaches, and now it's kind of past. The season has not really been about the coaches anymore, but then now, as of right now, it seems like, because obviously we all look online, we all watch TV, we all do the things that we do that make us fans or make us, you know, broadcasters, show hosts, or whatever. And now it's so much about the portal. It's really, is it about the games as much as it is about the stuff that surrounds the games? The coaches was the biggest story of the year. You know, from Lane Kiffin's saga to, you know, all of these coaches leaving, and now you've got the portal, and, you know, where are all these quarterbacks going to go? Where are all these, you know, star running backs, star wide receivers? You know, you've got Cam Coleman, star wide receiver from Auburn, still in the portal. You got Ty Simpson, whether or not he's going to go pro, or is he going to go to Tennessee? Because that's where he's from. He's from Tennessee. Is he going to go to Tennessee?
Yeah, which quarterback did I hear something about the Miami Hurricanes?
Ty Simpson as well.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you got Miami's in the hunt. You got possibility of Tennessee in the hunt. You've got coming back to Alabama. I don't think that's an option. To be
so
honest,
wait, an Alabama quarterback going to Tennessee? You come on, man.
I mean, the way it is set up,
I don't even know if Brandon even likes that.
But life is that way now. This is the new standard. This is the new way. You remember how things were in 2020 when people were standing off from each other for 6 feet, and if you coughed one time, everybody looked at you in the room like that was what they called the new normal. Well, in college football, this is the new normal. You're going to have people that are going to go play for their rival. They're going to do it. It's going to happen.
You know, in December of 2019, right? 2019 is before COVID, right? There was a woman with a mask in the airport, and I was looking at her like, really? And then like 3 months later, everybody's wearing a mask. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new normal.
I guess.
That's what the portal is.
It's not, though. We're not wearing masks anymore, so hopefully they'll get this portal thing under wraps as well.
See, LSU doesn't have a
quarterback right now.
No. Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, Van Buren's,
he's
some
gone.
people are not big on Van Buren.
He's in the portal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's already in the portal.
I didn't even pay attention to that. I guess we're putting too much trust in Lane Kiffin.
I guess you're watching, I guess your shirt says it all. You're killing me. And everybody that's watching, everybody that knows.
Chris Multicante.
Everybody sees
what's up with Jeff's shirt?
Yeah, everybody sees it. It's like it's like you're cheating. I mean, it really is. I'm sorry.
And you know what?
Like
there are Ole Miss fans that obviously hate LSU.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. So LSU right now, when you look at LSU, they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's signed to the team right now. Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried.
Because you think Ty Simpson's coming to LSU?
No, I don't. That's a sin. What is Ty Simpson doing?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
He's just evaluating his money because obviously he was hurt and he played really bad and he pushed through it.
Yeah.
And it came out afterwards that he was injured. And so with that being said, now you got to wonder if he's going to come back to college because he's not getting the talk from the NFL teams as much as he is at the beginning. I mean, that's really what you got to know.
So we talked about it earlier, right? I said Ohio State guy going to Michigan, ATN going from Florida to Georgia, Lagway going from Florida to Florida State, Alabama to Tennessee. Really? Come on, man.
I mean, that's
where we're
no
headed. No allegiance.
No. And so with all of that, DJ Lagway, he's definitely, I don't believe he's going to Florida State now. I believe they've got their guy. I believe that's who they're going to go with. So he does have a meeting with Virginia. So tonight. So he's going.
DJ Lagway at Virginia?
Yeah. Tony Elliott. Why are you laughing?
Because Virginia's an educational institution. I'm not sure if he's smart enough. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Virginia cares about education.
Okay, but
he's going to have to go to class.
Well, Virginia played for the ACC championship.
I know, and they lost to Duke.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just as much as I hear the excitement out of Taylor Devers for Florida State in this portal, okay? But then I hate to tell Big Nate, no, it wasn't Big Nate. There's a guy before Big Nate that was on the phone, right?
Yeah.
The Florida State Seminole fan. Don't go look at next year's schedule because Florida State is not only opening with Alabama and ending with Florida, but they have that little 8-game ACC schedule. They're not going to 9 like all the rest of the conferences.
Right, they're the ones, yeah.
And they got to go at Louisville, at Miami, at Pittsburgh. And then their 3 big home games, you got Clemson, SMU, Virginia. I just named 6 teams in conference that they could possibly lose. So they've got to beat Florida or Pittsburgh or Louisville or Virginia or SMU just to be a winning team. So if you lose to Alabama and those 6 ACC teams, you're back at 5-7 again. There's must-wins on their schedule. It's not an easy schedule for the Seminoles, and I hate to drown their celebration for the portal, but I don't see him going 9-3.
So let me ask you this: if he loses say he goes 2-4 to start the season, or if he goes 3-3, something like that,
he could be out.
Do you think he's gonna? Do you think the leash is short for Mike Norvell this year?
Oh yeah,
do you think
absolutely.
it's definitely gonna be?
It's got. There's a link with a missing hole in it that could slip off, and 3-3 is debatable, but 2-4 he's gone. I don't care if you losing. I don't care if you're beating SMU. I don't care. 2-4, you're gone.
So you think Mike Norvell short leash this year?
Yeah.
Especially with all the coaches that are going on, you think they would just go ahead and make Gus the interim, let him run the rest of the season, and let that kind of be?
And that's
the deal?
like an audition like Petrino had at Arkansas, right?
Yeah. And I mean that's
or
even
who did Auburn have the defensive coordinator?
Gene Chizik.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Durkin. DJ Durkin.
Yeah, DJ Durkin. That was an audition also, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really, when you think about it, that's the deal. When you look at that team that, they had to make a decision. So, but we finally are good to go. We've got Joe on the line. We're excited about it. Joe Zagacki, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, fellas. How are you? How's Pensacola? And how's the Northwest Florida?
We are doing fantastic. The weather's really good. It's really nice here. Now, Joe, I have been using all of the things that you told us about this Miami team for the whole entire 2025 season, and I even stepped out on a limb just because I trust you. And I'm telling you this, you made me a believer when Jeffrey sometimes wasn't. But this Miami team has really put it together. Tell us about just the makeup and everything that's been going on with these Hurricanes.
Jeffrey has to become a believer now. Come on. Got a chance to play for the championship here. They're playing their best football of the season. This will be our 5th straight road game. Miami's been in a playoff situation since the first week of November when they were facing elimination after they lost to SMU. And, you know, instead of bowing out, they climbed into the ring and started swinging. And since that time, they've been excellent. Everybody's making a play. It might be a guy might make one play. JoJo Trader gets in the game, makes one catch, but it's a third down play and he turns into a first down. Wesley Vissaint is a starting linebacker, but he gets his first sack of the year last week at the most critical time of the game. So they're coming together. Everybody's making a play at the right time. They believe in each other. I think when you have that belief in each other, plays, everybody starts making a play. You're not waiting for one guy to make a play. Everybody on the team knows that no matter what, somebody else is going to make a play.
When you look at the stars on this team, you have to start with Bain. You have to talk about Mesidor. You have to talk about Jacoby. You got to talk about Carson Beck. You got to talk about Fletcher. But you're exactly right. It seems as though when those guys don't make the play, somebody else does, and that's really the championship pedigree that you're looking for, especially here in the end of the season. Let me ask you this. You talked very highly about Carson Beck whenever he was coming there. He come after having the arm injury. A little bit of the naysayers were worried about his arm strength. And I remember your words where I haven't seen the ball spin like this since Bernie Kosar. And we now have seen exactly what you're talking about. Talk about how Carson Beck has matured and how he's began to play like a championship quarterback.
Yeah, I don't understand all the criticism for him. He's 36-5 as a starting quarterback. He makes the right reads. Right now he's beating teams with his mind, his arm, and his legs. He ran last week against Ohio State when it was needed.
Yes.
When Miami needed him to run, he did run. And he's getting Miami into the right plays. He's making all the right plays. He's making all the right throws. The players are confident in him. He understands the game. He understands coverages. This will be his 42nd start on Thursday night. So I'll take my chances with a guy that has that much football under his belt. He loves playing football. He loves studying football. He loves playing football. And the guys around him trust him. So that's what's most important.
And, you know, some of those throws that he was making to the wide receivers that before they even made their cuts, it was just really nice to see. I mean, I've been a fan ever since you told us that he was spinning the ball like he was. And, you know, realistically, if you look at it right now, you know, if it does work out the way that it might look like it is with Miami playing against Indiana, this would be the matchup of the two quarterbacks, and it would be interesting to see them going head-to-head because everybody has already started trying to tip their hat that Mendoza is the best quarterback coming out of college. But to me, Carson Beck is better than Mendoza because of exactly what you said, being able to understand all of the facets of playing in a game and being able to change plays and be more NFL ready than just doing what the coaches are telling him.
Well, Mendoza obviously has had a great season, won the Heisman Trophy. We did see him last year at California, and Miami did win that game. But Mendoza's come a long way. Indiana feels that they've got a great leader. He's made some great throws. He's made some heavenly throws in the game against Ohio State and in their playoff game against Alabama, that back shoulder throw, and he's got great chemistry with Surratt, his wide receiver. All that being said, Carson Beck has taken Miami further than any other quarterback since Ken Dorsey. So they've been able to ride Carson Beck this far, and they're going to continue to do so.
Now, talk about this defensive line. I mean, they are so fast. And, you know, I was talking about yesterday just about how that Julian Sayin just did not look athletic. And you know, Jeff and some of the other guys, they were talking about how that, you know, realistically, it wasn't necessarily about how athletic Julian Sayin was. He just didn't have the time. Talk about how quick Bain is off the line and how he reads the line or he reads the snap so well. It's just crazy.
Yeah, Bain and Mesidor are just, you know, terrific football players. They understand the game. They understand how to study the game. They understand the cadence. They get a great start. They're big, they're powerful, they're fast, but more than anything, they're relentless. And when they are in pursuit of the quarterback, there is nothing that's going to prevent them from getting to the quarterback. And that's been the case here. The last 2 weeks, Miami's got 12 sacks, I think it is, in 2 games. Bain, I think he's got 4 in the playoff games. Mesidor has 3. I believe that's the number. So they've been great in the playoff games so far. They've almost been unblockable, and it's going to have to continue that way against Ole Miss on Thursday night.
Well, and that's the thing. You got an NFL guy teaching these guys things like Jason Taylor. You know, you see him on the sideline jumping around. You see, obviously, Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis, those guys being on the sideline. It pumps these guys up. Let me ask you this. There was a part of the game where both of those guys, because they were just utterly tired, they both came out. And some people made a little light of that, saying, maybe those guys are out of shape. But I think it's their intensity. I think they're just 100% go. And I believe that they knew that, they could give them a break for a second and then get them back in there.
Well, Miami does play a lot of guys, and they've got a couple of pass rushers behind them that are pretty good, too. Marquise Lightfoot's a 5-star player that's getting to the quarterback, had a sack last week against Ohio State, and Armando Blunt is also a 5-star player. Lightfoot and Blunt are going to be Mesidor and Bain next season. So I feel very comfortable when Bain and Mesidor come out of the game for a quick breather that the other 2 guys are going to also put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And listen, Ole Miss is going to run a lot of plays.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So it's going to require more than Bain and Mesidor. It's going to require everybody. It's going to be all hands on deck to get to Chambliss. And so when Bain and Mesidor aren't in there, Lightfoot is going to have to get to the quarterback, and so is Armando Blunt.
And see, that's the thing. For me, for this game, it's going to be best on best. It's going to be who is just, who can make the plays and all of that. Obviously, that's usually what happens. But with a talent like Trinidad Chambliss, you're exactly right. He's elusive. You're not going to be able to just pin your ears back and run. And I was mentioning to the guys yesterday, I wondered what the plan is going to be with him, because as you watch the NFL game, you see those times where if you pin your ears back and just blitz, or you pin your ears back and shoot down the field, sometimes, they'll call the draws up the middle with those quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and those guys. So I wondered if Miami's approach coming in is going to be to keep Chambliss in the pocket and not let him get outside of the pocket.
Yeah, I think it's best when he's in the pocket, and try to get your arms up, hands in the passing lane, and force him to play quarterback in the pocket. These broken plays, when he's able to transcend things, is when he's most dangerous. And we saw that against Georgia. He was able to get outside the pocket, ad-lib, and make some tremendous throws. At that point, your defense is broken down, and there is no defense. So I think Miami wants to be able to try to redirect their receivers, keep things in front of them, get into the passing lanes, and hold up the receivers as long as they can for Bain and Mesidor and the others to get into the face of Chambliss and try to put as much pressure on him as possible.
Are you less worried about Ole Miss as you were against Ohio State?
I thought Ohio State was the best team that Miami was going to play. I still think Ohio State is the best team that they have played. Ohio State was loaded with stars. I was, quite frankly, very impressed with how Miami went with them eyeball to eyeball and actually was the better team.
Yeah.
And I think you could tell Miami was the better team right from the get-go. I think Miami is the better team against Ole Miss, but Ole Miss is a galvanized team right now because of their coaching situation. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they've got a gunslinger at quarterback that is making things happen.
So they put up a lot of points. Do you think that they could clear more than 24 points, Ole Miss?
Well, the most points Miami's given up this season to 26.
Wow.
So that's it. Miami keeps them below 26 or 24, they're going to win the game.
Wow. See, yeah, and I agree with you on that. Now, let's push outside of what everybody's talking about right now that's not talking about these games. They're talking about the portal. Has there been any contact? Has there been any names that you've heard about, Joe, about who you guys are going to try to pull for next year?
there are a lot of rumors, a lot of discussions, I guess, but really all the focus has been on these games, on beating Ohio State and winning this game. And I think that there are probably some really good players in the portal that if Miami wins this thing, they would be more than happy to jump on board and jump into a championship team. So I think there are probably a lot of really good football players out there that obviously they want to get paid, but they also want to be around other great players. So I think the portal for Miami will take care of itself when this thing is over.
Yeah, I agree with you. How great would it be for Miami to get to play in their home stadium for the national title? And that would be really cool. I don't know, Joe. I might have to try to pull some strings, see if I can come sit with you up in the booth or something if y'all get that one.
That'd be it would be something else. It'd be historic for Miami, and to play for a national championship inside Hard Rock Stadium. That would be one of the great events in the history of South Florida, certainly over the last 25 years in South Florida. And Hurricane fans in Miami are very, very excited right now, and I can only imagine what would happen if they can pull this thing off on Thursday.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Well, we don't want to hold you any longer. We know that you're very busy, and we appreciate you taking out the time. So the last question that I'm going to ask you is the question that everybody talks about, everybody asks, is the U back?
We'll know in 2 weeks.
That's right. Joe, you've been so great. We appreciate it, and we hope that if Miami pulls this one off on Thursday, that maybe we'll be able to get with you and get you back on before the championship. And we appreciate you taking time out with us today.
All right, fellas. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Joe Zagacki, the voice of the Miami Hurricanes, just a great guy, and love for him to come on. But when we come back, we are going to discuss a little bit more about the college football playoff. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida Gator basketball is back tonight.
And it goes in at the buzzer.
It's the Florida Gators versus the number 22 Georgia Bulldogs.
Three-pointer. Puts it in.
Live play-by-play from the Stephen C. O'Connell Center in Gainesville, coming up tonight at 6.
Oh, you saw that coming,
ESPN Northwest.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN in Northwest Florida this Tuesday. For tonight, mostly clouds and slight fog, and a low of 64 with a gentle breeze at 8 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tomorrow morning, a variety of some clouds and slight fog with temps around 70. In the afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and a temperature near 71. Moving into Thursday, the same with a high of 71 and slightly foggy. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
Your goals matter, and at Anytime Fitness Panama City, they're ready to help you crush them. With expert coaching, personal training, and virtual workouts through the Anytime Fitness app, you'll have all the support you need inside the club and beyond. Limited time only. Join today for just $1 down and start your fitness journey now. Don't wait. Visit 107 West 23rd Street, Suite W8, or call 850-818-8184. Anytime Fitness. Let's make healthy happen.
Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida. Come back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're pumped up, ready to go. Don't forget the Fiesta Bowl, the one that we've been talking about, Miami versus Ole Miss Thursday right here after the show. And then don't forget Friday, the big one, Indiana, Oregon, right after the show on Friday as well. You know, we're excited about it. We're excited about the portal. We're excited about all things college football. And there's times where I think sometimes we're pushing what really is this season about too. But we got to talk about what everybody's thinking, about what everybody's commenting about, what everybody's posting about. So if they're wanting to talk about the head coaches, we got to talk about it. I mean, we had 25 head coaches change teams this year. And then you're talking about the portal with 3,000 kids. I say kids, football players leaving to go to another school. This is a crazy season, so we definitely have to talk about it.
Are there 4 NFL coaches gone? Let me just ask that question real quick. And this is intertwined in with college, okay? Just to let you know. What we got? Raiders, right?
Falcons,
Browns. Is that it? Black Monday was not like Black Monday.
It wasn't a bad one, but it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that got my thought process going because I'm not saying Pete Carroll's going back to college because he's probably not. But then I was like wondering that whole domino effect that we had talked about with coaches before, where the Iowa State coach Campbell went to Penn State and the Utah coach went to Michigan. I was curious today, so I just looked it up. I said, well, who's at Iowa State? And then I found the guy. And I was like, well, who's at Kansas State? Boom, they filled in the position. Utah guy was a former player. And then I was like looking around, I'm like, wow, they're all filled. This whole domino effect, they're filled like that.
It's done. They already know.
Kansas State filled their position. Mm-hmm. It's all filled. And so anybody who's getting fired, like NFL coaches or whatever, I guess they're going to be coordinators.
Yeah, I mean.
Because Cliff Kingsbury was the name that came in.
Yeah, he's up.
Because he got fired from Washington Commanders offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, Arizona's coach is gone too. We didn't mention that.
So he said he's okay with being a coordinator or a head coach.
Or a head coach.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's going to LSU. But, you know, I mean, come on. We need another guy. Why not?
Oh, my gosh.
Just add him on top. You know, we got money. We'll just borrow it from Venezuela.
That'd be great. Let's just do that and then bring DJ Lagway in.
No. Yes. No.
Either way, we're going to go to the Red 7T's phone line. We got Chris on the line. Chris, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing very well. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Chris, what do you think about this shirt Jeff's wearing?
Well, he told me the reason, so it's acceptable.
Okay.
There's Multicante?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So give us the rundown on this Canes Ole Miss game because you're fully confident that the defense is going to step up. You believe that it's not going to be the defense; it's more or less going to be the offense of Carson Beck and these wide receivers. Tell us why.
I don't know if I want to say it's more going to be our offense as the X factor, but I think more so probably Ole Miss's defense maybe not being up to par. I've thought all season long that Georgia was completely overrated. The whole SEC narrative, I think their numbers are a little bit inflated, and Ole Miss showed it, and they came out and they whooped Georgia in front of everybody. So here we are with Ole Miss. And I do want to say having Joe Z on was awesome. That was great. Thank you for that. But let's talk a little bit about what you guys were talking about when you had him on. You said Chambliss wanted to keep him in the pocket. Honestly, if he gets out of the pocket, you're talking about Jacoby Thomas, you're talking about Keontae Scott. So Keontae Scott had 1.5 sacks against Texas A&M. Both of those came when Marcel Reed was leaving the pocket. Keontae Scott also had the pick 6 against Ohio State. I want to let you know that Keontae Scott has been in the film room. He is going to be ready for this game. I saw a segment where Keontae Scott, Malachi Toney, and there's one other guy, I can't remember who it was. But during fall camp, they slept in the facility. This is a team that is primed to win a championship right now. I think I said it at the beginning of the year. I was trying to be humble as best as I could, but losing those games to Louisville and SMU really felt like it was the death knell. So to be able to sneak in the playoffs and then to win a couple games has been a dream season, and I don't think it's going to end Thursday night. I just don't think Ole Miss has the horses on defense. I think Beck, like Joe Z said, is going to be his 41st start or something like that. He's seen it all. He's done it all. 5-6 straight road games. I didn't even think about it like that. Miami's road warriors right now, and we're not just winning games. We're winning games in dominant fashion against the best teams in the country.
Let me say this real quick. Let me stop you for just a second. I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to say something that kind of lends to what you're saying. With the way that the Georgia-Ole Miss game kind of had this connotation, it almost feels like the Alabama versus Oklahoma effect, where everybody was wanting to see Alabama play against the elusive Kyler Murray at Oklahoma. And it seemed like Alabama's focus was so focused on that matchup that when they beat Kyler Murray in the semifinal, then they went and played in the championship. They came out flat. They came out not as good, and they eventually lost the game. And so I feel like this game is somewhat similar to that because Ole Miss, there was something to prove. Our first game without Lane Kiffin, a game that we had already lost when we had Lane Kiffin. We want to win this game without Lane Kiffin. There was this whole narrative that was going on if Lane Kiffin was going to show up and this whole deal. And so I think it's more now, it's not Ole Miss versus the Canes. It's more or less, to me, if the Canes can come out and play like they have, then I think they'll be just fine. I don't think Ole Miss is going to pose a problem for them just because I believe the Ole Miss-Georgia game was such the hurdle for Ole Miss to come over, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and not only that, you look at Ole Miss's situation, right? It's getting worse and worse. So Kevin Smith, their running backs coach, who's looked at as a top running backs coach in the country, Jeff, I know that's going to make Jeff smile, he's heading over to LSU. He's a former Miami Hurricanes running back coach. He's awesome. He's a great recruiter as well. He's got a lot of South Florida ties. And it's looking like they'll be lucky to get Weiss, in the game. So all the deck is certainly stacked against Ole Miss in every way. And this I should feel like this is going to be the classic Miami favorite in the game. All signs are pointing to us winning. Ole Miss is in shambles. This reminds me of like some 2009 game that means nothing when, we already have 5 losses and we're supposed to beat a Virginia Tech team who brings in their third-string quarterback and he looks like John Elway. But those days are over. Mario Cristobal has righted the ship. We have an amazing coaching staff. Shout out to Corey Heatherman, who hopefully we get him one more year. That guy's going to be a head coach soon. So, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but and touching on the transfer portal a little bit just to say this final thing, I guess. You guys kind of do set the narrative, but at the same time, people aren't talking about their teams because their teams aren't playing anymore. There's only 4 teams left. The loudest fan bases are at home.
Yeah.
So here we are. And when you look at the transfer portal, it definitely is something that should be talked about because it's crazy, man. I've never seen anything like this, but it will level out. Eventually, it'll be a good thing for the game, and I think everybody will kind of agree on that. We're still in the early stages of this, kind of trial and error. When you look at the Lane Kiffin LSU situation, it's just a crazy situation, right? But it's going to set a precedence, and they'll fix it. And moving forward, it'll all level out, and we'll all be one big, happy college football family again. And I'm going to sign off and listen, man. You guys have a great night.
Hey, Chris, one question.
Yeah.
Who's the top 4 loudest fan bases, and why is Notre Dame in there?
Okay, so Notre Dame is number 1 because I don't even think I have to go into detail about that, and I'll just rattle off the others because I can real quick, right? Florida State, Alabama, that covers it. Ohio State, we can say Ohio State too.
Texas is in the talks, but they're somewhere up there.
I don't hear much about Texas.
Yeah.
So every few years they'll come win 10 games or something, but Texas never really won anything. They're one of the most overrated programs in the history of college football.
Wow. All right, Chris. Well, you said it here, and I'm sure the Texas fans are not appreciative of that remark. But either way, we appreciate you.
Cotton Bowl 92, baby.
That's right. All right, Chris, we appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too. We're going to go straight back to the Red 17s. We got Arnold on the line. What's going on today?
Man, look, y'all got to realize that Goins, he's coached against Carson Beck before when Carson was with the Georgia Bulldogs. You remember the game? They come out and throw 28 points on them in the first half. He looked like Nate. He looked like Nate in the first reader.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, I really think that there's a big chance that Carson Beck is going to have his, so to speak, Heisman moment. And there's a chance if Carson Beck wields this team to win that there's going to be talk of who's going to take him in the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah. Well, you can believe one thing. He's going to try to play not to get hurt.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He got hurt. He got hurt in that other game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure he did.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your program. Keep the good work up.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So when you look at it, when you think about Carson Beck, you know, we've talked about him. We really have dove into him.
Well, Joe convinced you.
He convinced me early on of what he saw because he's seen so much football. I mean, he's been there for 30 years, 40 years. Yeah. So he knows what good football looks like. And he's telling me. And I was very happy that he basically reaffirmed what I said on Monday, if you remember. And I'm not trying to act like I know everything because I've definitely been wrong a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But when he said that Carson Beck used his legs, remember I made mention of that. Winning football in college in playoff games, always, always, always. You go back all the way to when Sunshine was winning, when Alabama was winning, when Joe Burrow was winning. There were those games that they had to get across the first down marker and use their legs, and they couldn't throw it to their stars that are on the outside or hand it off. They have to get outside or they have to find a way to pick in and get a first down. And Carson Beck did that. With him doing that, to me, he's got the arm strength. He's got the IQ. Everybody, why don't we give, let's just, let me ask you this. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but why don't we give Carson Beck such the bad mojo when we talk about when is Carson Beck going to be Carson Beck? The guy's lost 5 games in his career, and he played at Georgia, which with a bunch of stars, that was the downfall, and now he's playing at Miami.
So let me recount this. Okay. He lost to Alabama and Ole Miss last year in the regular season. They went 10-2. They go and beat Texas in the SEC champion without him, right?
Yeah.
They struggled against Georgia Tech without him.
Without him.
So his third loss was he played in the playoffs completely injured? Is that where his third loss was at Georgia? Because I don't recall him losing 3 games. He must have played in the playoffs hurt, huh? Or did he not play? I don't think he played.
I don't remember.
I don't know where the fifth, I'll say fifth loss comes in, because they only lost 2 times this year. Lost to Louisville, a close one, and SMU in overtime. So I only know 4 losses that he's taken. I'm not even sure if he's lost 5.
I think he started
maybe
a game
previous year
and they lost or something. Yeah,
maybe the previous year, I guess, because I mean this guy's got a solid record.
Because Alabama beat him.
Alabama and Ole Miss beat him in the regular season last year, and that's why they went 10-2. They slipped in the SEC championship, beat Texas, who only had 1 loss to them, so they beat him twice last year. This guy's proven he's got a great record. He's getting things done. I do like what you're saying. And you've seen a bunch of, I don't want to call them no names. I hate to say that, but there's a bunch of Alabama quarterbacks who would dive and get that first down.
Yep. Jay Coker, A.J. McCarron, even Jay Barker.
Yeah.
Those guys.
All of them. Matt Flynn with Jacob Hester in the backfield. We won a national title with those guys.
Mac Jones did it.
They weren't superstars.
And they weren't
but
runners.
They got the job done.
Yep, they got it done.
And that's what Miami looks to be doing right now. And I'm going to end up picking them. Spoiler alert, Brandon's going to come in here. I'm going to pick Miami. Chris Conte will love me again.
Yeah.
Because you know what I did? I picked them in the first round versus A&M.
You guys are going to have a date one day at Ferrucci's. I guarantee it, for sure.
He's going to bring his daughter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But no, I picked them in the first round. I didn't pick them in the second round. I'm back to picking them again.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
I'm flip-flopping.
You know who doesn't flip-flop? AutoNation Ford, Panama City. If you are in the market for a vehicle, those guys will get you going. You missed out on the end of the year deals, but guess what? They've got new deals coming in. You want an F-150, you want Super Duties, you want a SUV, they got them on the lot. If you are looking for a used vehicle, maybe you don't like the Ford brand, you want something else, go over there to the used car market. They'll show you everything they've got here, and if they don't have it, they can find it for you. So go see them, 730 West 15th Street, right there by the railroad tracks. Recommended Collision Center. The guys over there are top notch. Maybe it's just you're scared to go let them look at your vehicle because you're scared that it's going to be an arm and a leg. Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon and those guys are honest, dependable, and they'll shoot straight with you. And that's what you want when you're having to deal with the prices of all the stuff that's high right now. You go over there and see them. They'll give you an honest quote, an estimate, let you see what it is, walk you through it, and make you feel really confident about getting your vehicle back in the condition that it was made for. Go see them. Recommended Collision Center on Jinx Avenue. Now, we've been talking about this. Baseball season and softball season is very, very, very soon. Practice is going to be starting soon. January 10th, which is Saturday. That is the last day that you can sign up for the Panama City Little League right here in Panama City, Florida. Your son, your daughter can play softball, baseball, or for the little kids, they got t-ball, co-ed. And if you want to be a volunteer or a coach, you can do that. So all you got to do is go on our website, and there's a Little League acronym. You can click on that, and it'll take you right to where you need to. At I think it's ESPNPC.com right there, and you can do that, and it'll be awesome. Go see those guys and get signed up. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up this talk about the games coming up. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for college basketball.
And it goes in at the buzzer. Got it.
Listen to select games from the LSU Tigers, Florida Gators, the Auburn Tigers, and the biggest games around the country play here.
Three-pointer. Punch it in. Oh, you saw that coming, Red.
The most live college basketball in the Panhandle.
Game is over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Reliable Coffee Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Coffee Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Coffee Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousedba.com.
When it comes to backyard dreams, trust the name that's been making waves for over 65 years. Cox Pools. Serving the entire Florida Panhandle, Cox Pools brings experience, innovation, and quality to every custom pool design. From luxurious spas to resort-style pools, no vision is too big. Make your backyard the place to be with Cox Pools. Cox Pools, 65 years strong and still making a splash. Visit coxpools.com or call 850-235-7957.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, you got it. To the rack. And dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Florida, Georgia, tip-off coming up at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play.
Hi, I'm a recovering crackhead.
Hand me that shotgun. Get on your knees!
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here in your CBC Construction Studio. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got about 15 minutes left, baby. If you want to call, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. Don't forget the Fiesta Bowl, Miami versus Ole Miss, Thursday, 6 o'clock right after this show. And don't forget Friday's show as well. We will be running all the way up until 6 o'clock for the game time starting at 6:30 with the Indiana Hoosiers and the Oregon Ducks. So, Jeffrey, we've been talking a lot about all of the portal, and, you know, it looks like Florida was able to come up with the number. Let's talk about that.
For
Jaden Ball. Because when you look at what Kejuan Lacey, because I would put Jaden Ball and Kejuan Lacey as being the top two portal running backs that was in the portal. Mm-hmm. It looks like Lacey was around the $1.5 to $1.8 million range. So it looks like, or it sounds like, that Florida was able to give Jaden Ball that 1.5, 1.8, around that number. That was one of the key pieces that we talked about specifically for the Florida program, for them to really move forward, hopefully. Obviously, he's just one piece of the puzzle. They've already got their quarterback. They've got their coaching staff with a lot of – it's riddled with a lot of Tulane, but it's also riddled with a lot of Georgia Tech. And so with that being said, Georgia Tech has been successful, haven't won an ACC championship. They all, I think maybe with them almost beating Georgia, that's where we've given them their most validity. How does it make you feel?
How close was the game this year? The Georgia Tech game?
Not close.
Last year.
The last year game was the overtime game.
Yeah, but they were missing Carson Beck.
Right. So it was the last year. There's an excuse. Yeah. But that's what we do give them validity. I mean, realistically, I picked Georgia Tech to win the ACC or at least go to the ACC championship at the beginning of the year based off of the way they played against Georgia and Haynes King. Not that he wasn't great or anything, but because he was good.
Oh, yeah. He was on our radar.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, though. The forward question is, with Jaden Ball coming back, with all of these coaches coming from Tulane, coming from Georgia Tech, does that give you a sense that Florida is headed in the right direction, or does it seem like it might be the same old, same old?
I mean, I feel like they have to do better than 4-8.
Right.
They got to be going in the right direction. There's people projecting them for 6-6, even 9-3 for next year already. And, you know, I mean, there's so many, anything could happen between now and then. I don't think they're going to be a 9-3. I believe a 7-5 or 6-6. I browsed their schedule. It's not an easy schedule, you know. They're not opening with Long Island, you know.
Right.
And they look good towards the end. An upgrade in quarterback is probable. I've never been a Lagway fan. I'm sorry. They're going to get somebody.
Considering he might be coming to your school, that's crazy for you to say. I might talk that into existence, by the way.
No, you know how I'm like poker face. And, you know, you got Lane Kiffin, you excited? Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. And you got Lagway. No, please no.
Let me say this, though. When you look at it, so this is not the same thing that we saw out of, say, Arkansas. Oklahoma. Their offensive coordinator came, and then they brought their quarterback, Mateer. You saw success.
Yes.
Well, this is a little bit different for Florida. They bring over the offensive coordinator from Georgia Tech, and then they do something that's very it's very concerning for me. I'm not a Florida fan, but yeah, I want the Gators to do well. I mean, we live in Florida. I want the Gators to be relevant.
I don't hate the Gators.
Right. I think it's good for college football. But bringing the backup from the team that your offensive coordinator, and basically with all of these other guys being in there, not that they didn't reach out, but it did seem like right out the gate, once they got their guy to be their offensive coordinator, it was almost a determined factor that they were bringing the backup from Georgia Tech, Philo, in to be the quarterback.
Well, he knows something we don't know. He must have seen him somewhere, like either on the field, on the practice squad, in the weight room. I don't know what, but he's seen something. And we've seen this before where coaches know more than we know as spectators. And then they bring in the guy, and then you're like, wow, you know? I mean, Tom Brady got a chance at New England, and that's just phenomenal that he came in for Bledsoe like that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's one out of 500 that didn't.
He was splitting his time in Michigan. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And they weren't even but a 9-win school back then, you know?
Yeah, and it was a real run-heavy offense anyway. But still,
exactly.
but for every one Tom Brady, there was 500 DJ Ungulays that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, DJ Ungulay actually did make it. He's in the pros right now. So.
Oh, my God.
He's actually activated for the Chargers last game of the season.
I know. I saw that. I was like, this is craziness. He should be in the UFL or something.
I mean, but let me ask you this, though. I mean, we've got to trust him, I guess. I mean, that's really that's what, because
these guys eye talent all the time.
Yeah, they know what a good quarterback looks like. Yeah. And the thing is like Brent Key, by watching him coach, by what he does, you see that he's a loyal guy. He's a Saban guy. Saban's very loyal. So maybe Philo was the better option, and Haynes King was just the loyalty quarterback that they were going to do. And now Florida's going to be getting an unknown. And I say unknown, I'm sure there's scouting agencies that know him, because, I mean, obviously he was a backup at Georgia Tech, which is that's a great job. And they must really think highly of him to be able to have him coming to Florida to take over that program and to be the standard bearer with all these other quarterbacks in the portal. That's kind of what shocked me. It seemed like they had no interest in anybody else, and they were just bringing him over.
Yeah.
So they must know something about this kid. So this guy must be the legit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and willing to put forth the effort. He might be a workhorse.
So we haven't talked about it. We really haven't said much about it. We talked off air a little bit earlier, but I want to get your thoughts. So Ty Simpson, there's a chance that, with him evaluating whether or not he's going to be drafted or not.
Oh, yeah.
Would you see him adding a value to Miami? Would you see him, could he just step in at Miami? Do you think Tennessee, because he's from Tennessee, do you think that could be the possibility go to if he does decide to stay?
I don't know if Cristobal likes the type of player that he is. It's all one guy and what he thinks that, can I make him the person I want him to be? Because we've had Cam Ward and we had Carson Beck. Is this guy to that level? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm not hating on Alabama. I'm just hating on, I guess, a person. It sounds bad because he's, 22 years old or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't want to, break these guys' heart. Actually, you know what? If anything, it should motivate him to get better.
There were times, though, he had flashes of really good quarterback play.
I saw rankings, and he'd be number 10 in the nation as far as quarterbacks go. And I don't disagree with it. He's right around there, 10 or 11 in the nation as quarterbacks go. I mean, that's not bad at all, right?
Yeah, I mean, but you can't blame all of that on him, though. Offensive lineman was soft. The running game was inept. And
what did y'all score in Oklahoma? I done lost the 34 or
I mean, but they said he was hurt. So they said he had all these injuries.
That's the biggest excuse. Nussmeier's hurt. I think Klubnik was hurt. Simpson was hurt. Lagway was hurt. Everybody. I think Tommy Castellanos was hurt. Everybody's just using it as an excuse. I hate that excuse now. You know what? If your guy's hurt, either take him out or just don't complain.
I mean, but when you look at Ty Simpson, it almost does make sense. He's more like Carson Beck. He's not necessarily as much like Cam Ward, but he is a little bit like Carson Beck.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as big as Carson Beck.
And he's got the experience.
He's got the experience in big games. He's
SEC championship.
He's beaten good teams.
Yes.
And he's lost some games.
And he's played behind somebody.
Yeah, and this is his second. It would be his second year, whereas Beck had 3 years. This is Beck's third year to start.
Yeah.
And so for Simpson, he's got 1 year left. Or if he decides to,
Jalen Milroe started last year, right?
Right.
Okay, you're saying second for next year. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I don't hate it for Ty Simpson to go to Miami. I just think it's kind of crazy to even think about Tennessee because the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry.
But that's the life we live in. But either way, we know that LSU's probably going with Sam Leavitt. And so with that being said, DJ Lagway's got to find a place to go. Is he going to the ACC?
I'm happy with Leavitt.
I know you are. But DJ could be in the works. Either way, we made it to the end today. Thanks for listening. We will be back tomorrow. I promise Jeff will not wear an Ole Miss shirt, though. Either way, thanks for listening. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Have a great night, everybody.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida Gator basketball is back tonight.
And it goes in at the buzzer.
It's the Florida Gators versus the number 22 Georgia Bulldogs.
Three-pointer. Puts it in.
Live play.